Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be making, with assistance from Ronnie, spicy beef enchiladas. Now, the main component of the beefy enchiladas, I'm tongue-tied, is the red sauce. The red sauce actually takes a little bit to prepare and simmer, but the spicy sauce for the enchiladas makes this meal really, really rock. So I have Ronnie prepping some chopped up onion for me and garlic. And I am putting together some soft tacos with that taco seasoning from my food pantry haul yesterday. I'll do up that little bit of dishes, and then I'm going to start browning my ground beef and working on the red sauce. I'm going to show you everything I do. Let's get started. Alright, so what all are you going to need to make these spicy beef enchiladas? Well, I'm going to tell you. And the ingredient list is a little bit large. Everything will be down in the description box. And yes, for this recipe, guys, I am using the recipe because I could not keep all this straight in my head. Hence why I am wearing my reading glasses, simply because the fine print. You will need olive oil. I didn't know what that weird sound was just now. 3/4 cups of chopped onion and a 1/2 cup of chopped onion.
I'm giving you a satisfied little blip after having been used to make food.
And actually 2 different bowls of chopped onion. You'll need some oregano, chili powder, dried basil, salt and pepper, cumin, cilantro, salsa, tomato sauce. Now it says tomato paste. I didn't feel like digging through everything down in my pantry looking for tomato paste. I know I have some, but it's probably buried. I'm actually going to have to start clearing things out of my pantry, really. I need to thin out the herd a little bit. So I'm going to be using this ground peeled tomatoes, roasted garlic and basil, which should be even better yet, that I got at P&R. Because that is like of a thicker consistency and similar to the tomato paste. Chicken broth and beef broth. Of course, the ground beef, I'm using 2 pounds. Chopped garlic, chili powder, cumin. I said that already. Cheese, shredded cheese. I don't honestly know if I can actually grate what I have left of that Lucerne cheese. It's so soft. So I may actually just like break it up into small pieces. I think it's too soft to actually grate. I do have some mozzarella cheese though. And I may actually grate that instead too. Mix it up a little bit. So yeah, there's a good amount of ingredients, as I said. The sauce itself is what really makes the recipe. The sauce is what takes actually the most time. So I wanted to get my ground beef mixture out of the way. So I brown my ground beef. I have to drain it. And then I'm just going to add, let me see here, if I don't lose my place where I was looking. I will be adding the 3/4 cup of onion, a tablespoon of garlic, a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and cook and stir it until the onions are softened. Alright, so there is my onion and my ground beef. I drained it really well. I have 2 pounds of ground beef in there because I am using the large soft tortilla shells. I mean, you could use smaller ones. It doesn't really matter, but I wanted to actually make the bigger ones. So Next, I am adding a half a cup of beef broth. And I'm just stirring that in. And at this point, I'm turning this down. Turning this way down because now I'm going to put the lid on this and I'm going to start working on the enchilada sauce. The enchilada sauce, a little bit of the sauce actually goes into the ground beef mixture before you roll up the enchiladas. It really gives it a good flavor. So, I'm turning this down to simmer, and I'm going to put the lid on. Now for the spicy red sauce. Okay, so I have a tablespoon of olive oil in this big pot, and I'm heating it up. Once I have it heated up sufficiently, I'm going to add a half cup of onion and simmer the onion until it softens up. Then I'm going to stir in 4 teaspoons of my chopped garlic. And I'm just going to simmer all that together for about 5 minutes. Of course, I'm going to have to keep stirring it and watching it so it doesn't burn. Alright, so adding my onion, adding my garlic, and I'm just stirring this around to get everything coated. And I'm going to keep that on simmer for, about 4 to 5 minutes. So now I'm going to start adding seasonings. I'm going to add a teaspoon of oregano. Okay. Three and a half teaspoons of chili powder. Alrighty. A teaspoon of basil. Trying to make sure I don't lose my place here. Salt and some pepper. just the scent of all them spices, guys. Wow. Like, really smells so good. Alright, but I'm not done yet. I just wanted to stir that so far. We are adding a teaspoon of cumin. Forgive the mess on the sink. I clean everything up once that's simmering. As I said, I couldn't keep all this straight in my head, so I am using the recipe for this. Okay. All right. All right. All right, so now I'm stirring that up. And now I'm going to add my salsa. So I'm going to be using some Tostitos restaurant style salsa. This is medium. So I will be using that. But you know what? I actually think I'm going to go with a cup. Yeah, I'm going to tweak it a bit and I'm going to go with a cup of salsa. So here we go. Because a half would be okay if I had 1 pound of ground beef, but I have 2. So yeah. I'll be using 1 cup with that. Next, I'm adding my tomato sauce. Now the recipe calls for a 16-ounce can. This is a 28-ounce. Again, I have 2 pounds of ground beef, so using this bigger can of tomato sauce is okay. And I'm also going to be adding the ground peeled tomatoes because this is going to be thicker, and tomato paste is on the thicker side. So in lieu of that, this will be a good substitute because of the thickness of it. I don't want it to be runny. And the final ingredient for this spicy red sauce is 2 cups of chicken broth. Now I use the chicken cubes, the bouillon, in cups of water. So, stir all this in together, getting this all mixed in. And now I'm going to let this simmer. So all the flavors blend together. I'm going to clean up the mess here, put my dishes away, and I'm going to prep my baking dish, warm up the enchilada shells, and they're the tortilla shells, but now they're going to be enchilada shells. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm going to be using the big ones. I don't know if I showed you. These are the big ones. Definitely will make a really good enchilada. I'm also going to grate some of my mozzarella cheese. I think I'm going to be mixing that up along with some of the cheddar cheese that I have. Normally, you would use some shredded Mexican cheese. Although I always prefer to buy blocks of cheese and shred or grate my own because you pay more for the shredded cheese. So this is going to simmer for about, I want to say 20-25 minutes. I'll stir it periodically, and like I said, get everything cleaned up here, put away, and be ready to bake the enchiladas. So now I have my oven preheating at 350. I took some of the spicy red sauce, put it on the bottom of my baking dish, which is going to hold my enchiladas. And now I'm going to turn around and add my meat mixture into the sauce. I'm just going to stir this around carefully. And I'm going to let this heat up. And I'm going to let that heat up for about 5 minutes. And then it's time to roll out my enchiladas. Alright guys, time to roll some enchiladas. And of course, I spilled something already on here after I cleaned it. Yep, it always works out that way. Right. I'm just adding some pieces of cheese. I'm not going to stand and cube the whole thing. I'm just cutting up what I need. I'm just showing you how I'm doing one. And then you'll know how to do the rest. I have 2 pans ready to go in the oven. The oven's been preheating at 350. As you can see in the one, I just cubed up the cheese. That one, I added the last of the meat and the spicy red sauce. They are rolled up. Very easy to do. Just spread some sauce out on a tortilla and roll them up. 2 of them in this tray have the jalapeno peppers in. Those are actually going to be for Bobby. So I'm going to put these in my oven and bake these for about 25 minutes. And we'll be sitting down to eat. And this is the finished product. These have just the cheese and the meat mixture in. These have meat and some jalapeno peppers slices that were from my food pantry haul yesterday. Well, excuse me. I made 2 for Bobby, and I loaded them up with jalapeno peppers and some cubed cheese, and then the last of the cheese I had, I just cut it up and let it melt in baking. I really like how this Lucerne cheese melts too. I noticed that the cheese from the food pantry is very runny. This has like some texture to it, if you will, and is a little thicker and does not run like that. Well, guys, I am going to sit and eat one for, I guess you could say, a Friday night snack. If you like this video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit my subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I will see you all on the next one. Good night. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.